Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how you can dye some fake fur fabric and have it be so resilient you can scrub it a million times and it won't bleed, and it's pretty cool. So to start, let's get our supplies. I say dyeing, but we're not going to be using any sort of heat treatment or else it would melt the material, and we actually do need an airbrush for this. I did do a dipping method and it's sort of patchy, so I found that the airbrushing method is the most efficient, and I'm going to illustrate that to you. So you will need an airbrush with a compressor. I like to use a top feed because screw the bottle fed ones, they just suck. Anyway, you will need a bit of water, a paintbrush, a little mixing tin for your color, and your fur, probably some paper towels, and your paints. So the paints I'm using are shoe paints because they are flexible acrylics. I'm just using this brand I got off of Amazon. Now, I don't recommend you mix colors because it might turn out a bit patchy. You can experiment. Plus, if you run out of the stuff, you have to remix it, and then it's like, oh god. But they come in a plethora of colors. You can find them online. Different brands have different things, like you want a turquoise or blue. You know, there's different types. But for today, I'm going to be matching this purple because I lost a piece. I'm going to be dyeing a yellow to stay like a horrible baby poop green, so you don't have to stick with pastels. And then I'm going to be making a rainbow pastel on this piece for you. So let's have some fun. I'm going to start by mixing up the purple off screen, and then I'm just going to walk you through the rainbow one, and I'm just going to do this one so you know what it looks like, that you're not limited to pastels. So here we go. Purple will be done in just a moment. Just one note when you're dyeing, I do recommend that you cut out your pieces before you dye them, because, I mean, you're going to go through a lot of work, and if you have this extra, you're just going to throw it away, and then it feels redundant. It's like, oh. Plus, if you're rinsing a whole lot of fur, it's going to suck. You're going to need a bathtub or something. Also, drying takes forever. So if you're drying a small piece, it's not so bad. You also want a dog brush. And I'm just going to go through this. You can't oversaturate. You really can't. Even if you dip. But dipping, again, seemed to come out lighter. You really want to get it with the brush. It gets it in like thinner, little smaller particulates, little particles, whatever, and coats the fibers better. So I'm just really getting in there, and you really can't put too much on there. And yeah, your hands are gonna get horribly messy. Deal with it. Like, there's really no way around it. You can do the back if you want, make it nice all the way through, and be like, oh, it's so fancy. Look at my special colored fur. There we go. And like, you can scrub it, get really in there, work it in like you're dyeing your own hair or something. Just freaking, just mess it up, man. Just, get those little bits. And now that's done. Go immediately rinse it underwater. It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. Rinse it till it runs clear or almost clear. Set it aside, dry it, you're done. So I'll catch you back with this piece being done, and then we'll start really walking through the rainbow piece. Let's go for it. So now just another note before we move on. As you can see, this is really light. So with that mix of purple and brown that I'm doing, this is as light as this color's ever possibly going to get. I can scrub this a million more times. It'll stay this color. This color is a triple dye, so I need to dry this, do it 2 more times to get up to here, or at least like another time. So you can't always keep going, but you have to completely dry before you do it again. That way the paint like sticks to the fibers better. So a little more time on this one, then we'll get back to you. Now, I just want to add another note in. There is a way to get around dyeing your piece a million times to get it dark. You can do the thing, you know, really work it in there, and you can dry it now as is while brushing it. Dry it, brush it, dry it, brush it. You really need to alternate between the two to avoid getting chunks and making sure each fiber is coated individually. But this can change your fur texture, but yes, it can be done if you wanted something darker from straight white. But honestly, if you want something that dark, your best bet would be find something close enough and tone it or darken it just a slight amount. Also, it should be without saying that you cannot go lighter. No. Bleach doesn't even work on fake fur, so don't even, like, I've tried that a long time ago. It doesn't work. You can only go darker, so yeah. If you need to go lighter, start from white. Don't be stupid. Anyway, yep, back to the rainbow. And then just playing off that final note before we get to the rainbow. If you do the straight drawing, the pigment method, once dry, then you must rinse till clear. All right, that's all. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to do the rainbow piece now. Straight blank piece. I don't know what kind of patterns we're going to make, but probably just a gradient. So we got the red, and I'm almost at, so this is probably the last I'm going to see of this paint. We're going to just pour some into this little container. That should be fine. You're really going to have to play. I'm going to need some water it down so it'll flow through the actual airbrush. Just mix it with the paintbrush, and we've got a red. Now it's probably going to turn out a funky pinky red, but that's fine. Oh, totally forgot to clean out my airbrush. And just clean yours out better. It's fine. This is for a test. Doesn't matter. Good enough. I'm gonna fill. Make sure the red is better mix. Fill our red. Oh, that's a lot. Probably could be a little more pigment to water, but whatever. And we're gonna start airbrushing. So I'm gonna get around the edges and should really probably be starting with the purple. Oh well. There, you can see it's really awful to dye fur. It's horrible. I hate doing it. But if you need the color, you really need to. Oh, it just sucks, and I've got to clean the counter. So, I'm actually going to dye part of this green, part of this red, so we can see what it's going to turn into. So don't mind me. See how we can change the color. This red's actually going to be really light. It's really watery. I should have added a little more pigment, but it's fine. It's just an example. You'll have to play around with your own stuff. Woo! So for this one, I'm going to do a brush blow dry, since my pigment's a little watered down. That way it's a little stronger when I finally rinse it. So here we go. That's pretty much the process. Now this needs to be rinsed, but I'm going to go ahead and tidy up the counter before that gets permanently dyed. Blow dry this, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so the red is dry. And just another note to add on to all the other notes I've been giving you so far. If you do the drying then rinsing method as opposed to the painting, rinsing, then drying method, it's going to be more patchy than it would. So if you do the paint then dry method, it's going to be more patchy than if you painted, rinsed immediately, dried, and then repeated to get darker. So you're just going to have to, play around or deal with it. But this red is quite patchy. But once it's rinsed, it should even out a bit. And if you're going for pastels, the light really shines through the fibers and it really evens it out. So you're just going to have to play with how different furs take different paints and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the whole rainbow on here off camera, dry it, and then I will show you me rinsing all of it together. So see you in a bit. Alright, and just so we have some sort of I don't know, something to compare to. Here is before. This was airbrushed and then dried, and now I'm about to scrub it. It kind of bleeds to the back. If you dipped it, the backing would be, stronger than the front. But, and then here's the yellow. So this is the fur color, and then I just dyed red and just straight green. So you can see they show up a bit less on the yellow, but we're trying to change the tone of the yellow, not go from whites to, pastel rainbow. So I'm just gonna now straight up give it a scrub in the sink, kind of go back and forth like this. That way I don't get the colors on top of each other, and just squeeze it and beat the crap out of it till it runs clear. Wash my hands at the same time because I finished with purple. The blue sticks really well too, and there's some green on there. So yeah, I will go scrub this, and I'll show you it wet, then I'll dry it, and then show you the final product. So I'm going to do that with both of these. Catch you in a minute. Okay, so I've given it a scrub, but I thought I would just straight up show you guys what I've been doing. Here's the hot. Our hot's a little fussy right now. Okay. Hot. Cold. So I just scrubbed the color on itself just in case it did bleed. I'm scrubbing this bitch pretty hard. Sorry, I don't mean to curse, but I am. Rinse it, squeeze it, do it in the cold, squeeze it, rough it up, blah 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 blah. It's pretty good. This is pretty strong actually. Less pastel than I thought it would be, but it did lose a bit of color, and I think it's gonna look quite lovely. So now I want to show you. This is the Super Seal. This one kind of does some weird frosting. Whew. I mean, you can see I tried to get down to the backing. I went super fast. I wasn't super careful, to be honest, or I wasn't super meticulous. But it looks kind of awful. You can see the white showing through. Once you start to dry it, the way the light plays through the fibers, it's going to look a little more solid and a little more pastel. So now the long process of drying this thing by hand with a blow dryer, which you don't have to see, and we'll get back to looking at the finished product. I washed this one too. It's some awful traffic light color. So I'm gonna dry these and let's check out the final results. Alright, and the fur's all dry. Sorry about the purple's a bit patchy, but it was the last one to get done, so it didn't dry fully. I was impatient and I cleaned it, as you saw, and it's definitely lighter. You can kind of see the tips are ever so slightly white, but it gives it a really soft pastel look. And it's pretty solid, the back's white, but there you go, guys. If you guys can improve upon the tutorial and do crazy stuff, feel free to share. I'd definitely love to check it out. Oh yeah, and the other piece, where'd that go? Here we go, here's the yellow. Nothing special, but you can definitely change the tone of pre-existing fur. Alright, see you next time. Alright, so now, if you followed me through the rainbow thing, if you guys are doing solid colors, I want to show you how good you can actually get it. So, this was a double dye of a mix between, orangey brown and red. And as you can see, this one goes, all the way down. The backing is dyed. I dipped it first, and it wasn't enough. And then I did the airbrushing. So sometimes a combo of the two methods is great. Same with this. That was a dipping and then airbrushing dye. This is yellow. That's cheating. My yellow actually turned out too vibrant. The red, same thing, dipping plus the airbrushing, and the orange. But this orange was just pure airbrushing. But I did go ahead and airbrush the back. Yeah, so, just wanted to show you what its true potential is, as opposed to the rainbow one, which was done rather quickly, and you could see it was really patchy. So yeah, you can see this one liked to frost the color on the tips more than anything. It's a very interesting fur. It's a very dense medium pile with guard hairs. So you're really gonna have to test out the types of furs. This is Arctic fox. This is super seal, and see how it reacts. But that's how I dyed the furs for this project, and honestly, they're solid, and I love it. And I really hope that when I reveal this suit, people be like, "Whoa, how'd you do it?" And then I'll be like, "This tutorial will help you." But yeah, anyway, guys, have a really good one. Okay, happy holidays and all that jazz.